So in today's video, I'm going to discuss which is better for content marketing in 2021. Is it video or podcasting? Especially with the surge in audio form content like Clubhouse and podcasts. And which one should you choose? Let's take it to the next level. Hi everyone, I'm Carl. Welcome to Next Level Video Marketing, a channel where you get the latest strategies and tips to help you achieve your marketing and business goals through video. Now remember, if this is your first time on this channel and you want to get the latest strategies to maximize the impact of your marketing videos, hit the subscription button below, hit the little notification bell so you don't miss anything. Over the last 6, 12, 18 months, we're seeing a surge of audio form content, from the booming popularity of Clubhouse to the rising number of people creating their own podcasts. I'm seeing it all over my social channels, especially on LinkedIn, where I see a lot of my indirect and direct connections stating, hey, I've started my own podcasts. And I'm also seeing a lot of new businesses, webinars, courses, masterclasses on how to start podcasting. And that leads to the question, is audio content, such as podcasting, a better way to start a content marketing program in 2021 over video? And my answer to that is, it all depends on what you as a business owner or as a marketer is comfortable doing and can consistently produce. And why not do both? If you're picking one over the other, you can always repurpose and syndicate to the other platform. For example, if you're starting with video, you can always extract the audio and turn that into a podcast. Or if you're starting with a podcast, while it's a little harder, you can turn that into a video. And if you do both, you'll just double your reach, because some people prefer to listen, some people prefer to watch. And if you can actually turn your podcast and or video into a blog post, then you'll triple your reach, because some people still prefer to read. And I've actually been able to take one video, had it ranked number 1 on YouTube, number 1 on Google, not just as a featured snippet, but actually as an article using the transcript. And I show you how to do that in this video up here, and I'll leave it in the description below. Over the past 10 years, I've created, produced, and been a part of many different content programs, whether it's podcasts or video. And I just wanted to give you some key tips on how to get started and how to consistently produce content to reach the results that you're looking for. But before I do, I just want to share these key steps that I go through before starting any content program, whether it's podcasts or video. These are the steps that I learned that really help set up a successful content marketing program. So the first step is, and you've probably heard me say this numerous times if you've watched any of my previous videos, talk to the people who consistently engage with your prospects or your clients, such as your sales teams or your customer experience teams or whoever else. Ask them to provide you the most commonly asked questions that they receive from prospects or clients on a regular basis. This will set up pretty much all your topics and your episodes over the next 2 years, because each question or groups of questions can be turned into episodes for your podcast or your video. So the next thing to think about is production process and sustainability. How will you be able to consistently produce content over the next 12 to 18 months? Because that's usually how long it takes to see the results that you're looking for. Ideally, between 50 and 100 episodes. So the next thing to think about is your subject matter expert. Who's the person or persons that are going to be able to accurately answer all the questions and issues that you've gotten from your sales teams, your customer experience teams, and even your customers or your prospects? And finally, what does the approval process of your content program look like? Because I guarantee you there'll be a lot of people who will want input into your program. So here's what I do. I would take all the questions that I got from the sales and customer experience teams and batch them, because I usually record my episodes, podcast episodes or video episodes, in batches. So anywhere between 8 to 12 episodes. And I would take all those questions, put them into a document, and I would share them with all the relevant people that would want input. And I would get their feedback on what are the questions that I would ask in these batches. That way, we keep the episodes authentic, because we don't really script out the answers of the subject matter experts, but people have the input on the questions asked. And we also include any key messages or things we don't want to include in those episodes. That's how I actually get approval while keeping the authenticity of the shows that I'm producing. And now let's get into how to start and consistently produce in video and podcasting. So let's start with video. And the first thing to think about is, who will be doing the filming? Is it a do-it-yourself type effort, or will you be hiring a professional videographer or a video agency? If it is a do-it-yourself type effort, I would recommend starting simple and then growing from there in terms of gear. So use your phone, get some affordable lighting, get maybe a cheap lav mic, and just start producing content. Remember that the first 15 to 20 episodes is not necessarily for the audience, but more so to get yourself or your team or however you're setting this up comfortable so that you can continuously set up and produce. No amount of preparation can get yourself comfortable in front of a camera, especially if it's your first time. So you'll need those 10 to 15 episodes to get comfortable, or your subject matter expert comfortable, especially if it's their first time as well. For lighting, I highly recommend you watch this video by Parker Walbeck on the different types of lighting. And for audio, I'll leave links to YouTube videos on how to improve your audio for your videos in the description below. So the next thing to think about is, how will you be filming? Will you be filming live? Will you be filming at your regular cadence? So each week, daily, twice a week, every other week, or so on? Or will you be filming in batches? For me, I find it easier to film in batches, anywhere between 8 to 12 episodes, because my schedule is so hectic that it's gonna be hard for me, and there's a lot of pressure to continuously find time to film at a regular cadence. So easier for me to film in batches and then just release those episodes. My recommendation to you is find a system and a cadence that helps you maintain that consistency. So if it's once a week, then film once a week. If it's filming in batches, then film in batches. It's really something that you have to think about just to make sure you're consistently delivering and publishing your videos. So the next thing to think about is your editing, production, and publishing process. So who's gonna be editing? Is it gonna be you? Is it going to be your agency? If it's gonna be you, how long is it gonna take you to edit? And if it's an agency, when are they gonna deliver the final videos? And then once you get that final video, who's gonna be the one publishing? Is it gonna be you? Is it gonna be someone on your team? Because there's still a lot of different elements when publishing, like who's gonna create the headlines, thumbnails, adding the descriptions, and then the promotion of the video after the fact. You have to think about all those elements once you receive that final video. And then, as mentioned, where are you gonna publish your videos? Are you gonna be going the YouTube route? Do you have a video hosting platform like Vidyard, Wistia, or Brightcove? And finally, what are the costs of this entire process? From financial to the time commitment, from the time you actually start creating all these videos, to the production, to the publishing, to the promotion. And obviously there's a trade-off if you do it yourself versus a video production agency. If you do it yourself, yes, you'll decrease the costs, but there's more commitment for your time. And if you hire an agency, there is less commitment on your time, but obviously the costs will increase. So you're gonna have to decide the path forward and which is most sustainable. So now let's talk about podcasting. And the first question you have to ask yourself is, similar to video, who's gonna be recording? Are you gonna be doing it, or are you gonna use an external agency? And if you're gonna be doing it, you also have to consider gear, like microphones, and if it's a video podcast, same thing, lighting. Now with podcasting, you don't have that video element, but you still have to think about things like, where are you gonna be recording? And I actually forgot this about video. How about the acoustics in the room? Do you have to put up acoustic foam? Do you have to put up soundboards? Anything to make your audio that much better. And just like video, I do recommend starting simple and then growing from there. You could start by buying a mic. Now don't skimp out on buying a mic, because that's pretty much the most important part of podcasting is the audio. And then getting some cheap acoustic foam. You can easily get some really cheap ones on Amazon, putting them in your office and then growing from there. And the next step is similar to video. How will you be recording? Will you be going live, daily, weekly, or in batches? When I did my first podcast back in 2014, we recorded every 2 weeks. That's actually where I learned batching, but I batched it in a smaller amount because the podcasts were about 20 to 40 minutes long, while videos are usually 7 to 12 minutes long. So the next thing to think about, and again, similar to video, who's gonna be editing, producing, and publishing? So who's gonna be editing the audio? Is it gonna be you or an external agency? And then once you get that final audio clip back, who's gonna be publishing? You still need to publish on your podcast hosting platform. And then finally, which podcast platform are you gonna be using? Are you gonna be using Anchor, Libsyn, Buzzsprout? There's so many out there, some free, some with paid costs, and just really depends on how you wanna start off. If you're just starting, I highly recommend you use Anchor. So now you have an idea of what it takes to start and consistently produce a podcast or a video episode. All that's left is to pick one that's right for your business, one that you're comfortable with, and one that you can consistently produce content over the next 12 to 18 months. And if you want to learn more about developing a content marketing strategy, you got to check out this video here, as well as this playlist for other video marketing tips and strategies. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in our next episode.